What is up, you guys? She is back with another video, of course. I am going to be doing a little get ready with me, so bear with me. I think I was in a rush when I was doing this, so as you can see, I got my brushes out. I was getting everything ready and stuff, and then of course I am mentioning that I am going to be doing my accessories first because I do tend to forget those all the time. So lately I have been accessorizing more. So yeah, to get started with this video, of course I am going to be starting off with this kind of like toner or like color correcting kind of thing. I'm not fully sure what it does, but hopefully it does its job. I guess it cancels out redness and all that fun stuff, so hopefully it works. Now here I am going to be starting to do my brows. That's the product that I do use. I know you can't really tell what it does look like, but whatever's. And this is me with my brows already done. Yes, they look ridiculous, but bear with me, trust the process. I know they look really messy, but of course the point is for my brows so they could try to stay longer when I pack it with the powder on top of the dip brow. Hopefully it works in my situation, but lately I haven't been seeing a difference. So with that being said, I am using this kind of like brush kind of thing to kind of like make sure the inner of the brows are not that harsh, so when I conceal them, it doesn't look that bad, or like squared eyebrows, I guess you could say. So with that being said, I'm taking this concealer and I'm using a concealer brush to conceal everything up, because of course, as you can see, it looks like a huge mess. So yeah, that's gonna be the process. I cover the lid. And of course I do this just so I don't have to apply the foundation after on that. It just makes it easier for me basically, so whenever I do my eyeshadow and all that fun stuff, it's already prepped. So that is when I'm going to be taking the foundation. That is the color I use. I get this product basically from the cap, the residue, and I use that to conceal the top. Now, each time that I do my makeup, it's never the same way that I do it, same steps. I always skip some steps, all that fun stuff, so it's never the same. I got very frustrated with my brows at this point, so I literally was just so over it. I started throwing everything because I was just so done. They don't look the best, but it will do. So I am using now a foundation brush to go right ahead and spread it all over my face. An even little coat, you know, make sure I drag it down my neck, all that fun stuff, you know what I mean? Now this is where I do use a stippling brush, a small one for my forehead specifically, only because I do have a small forehead. So that's why I don't do anything else with my forehead, but just put foundation. It's very tiny. And now that's when I use a bigger brush just so I won't work extra hard to cover the rest of my face and spread it out evenly. And from there I am going to be taking a contour stick that is from Rare Beauty, and I will be literally slobbering it all over my face. Now, I love bronzer and everything, but I think this time I kind of went overboard basically. But in this case, you can see I am going to blend it out pretty good. I guess you could say you can't really notice it because I powder it up and all that fun stuff. So as you can see, it's really on there. I did put some on my nose, as you can see, and I am taking this angled brush to kind of blend it out. It does take a minute for me to blend it out, only because I feel like this one, I added too much product, and then two, I'm just not trying to make it look like I got a beard going on there. You know what I mean? Now for the nose, I am going to be using this different brush. It is going to be more for a detailed kind of like make sure it doesn't get in the middle, to include that highlight on the nose and all that fun stuff. I honestly never really tell if I do need it, but whenever I don't do it, I see a huge difference on my makeup, I guess you could say. So that should work, of course. And now I'm using this concealer. This concealer, I'm mainly using it in the inner corner of my eye to kind of highlight it, and then in the bridge of my nose, and then right now I'm going to put it on my chin and on the sides of my cheeks, under the bronzer basically. That will at least help to highlight the points, and hopefully with the bronzer that I did smear a little bit too down where it looks like a beard, it basically gets camouflaged with the concealer and hopefully evens out. That same bronzing brush that I used to basically blend out the bronzer on my nose, I am using it to highlight under my eyes and blend it out. I did clean it prior to using it for the highlight just so it won't get all mixed up, of course. As you can see, I'm blending it all out. And then I'm taking a foundation brush just so I can make sure it blends out correctly or nicely and evenly with the bronzer. As I mentioned, hopefully with all of this does calm down the bronzing a little bit more, because I did put a lot. In this case now, I am using a cream blush. It's the first time I'm using this. Well, not the first time, but a few times, but I'm really enjoying it. A little bit does go a long way. So as you can see, I literally was like, oh shit, that's a lot. I was going to use my finger, but at the end of the day, I have been using the brush, and it works perfectly fine. I have been loving how it looks, and I try to blend it with the bronzer and the blush together. I am now using the foundation brush again and blending out everything throughout the face, the blush, the bronzer, the whole shebang, because we do not want any, harsh lines, basically. Now I'm going to be using the powders. I placed all the creams and foundations. Now I'm going to be basically powdering up the whole face with this blush on the cheeks, and then I am going to be using this butter bronzer, and that is going to be where the bronzer was at. So I do go excessively, as you can see, on the bronzer again, and I was just making sure, one, I love bronzer, yes, but I think I did a little overboard, and I just like how it looks sometimes. So in this case, I am using that small brush to at least do my nose as well. I tend to forget my nose too, especially with the powder, so I am happy that I did not skip this step. And now to blend everything out from the nose especially, we do not want any harsh lines. I am using this kind of fluffy, small brush for powder to go right ahead and blend that out. As you can see, I am using that same brush to use for the translucent powder. I am going to be setting my under eye, the eyelids, all that fun stuff to prevent creasing, even though I still crease at the end of the day. And now I'm using that translucent powder with the triangle brush and basically making like a line just so the bronzer doesn't look like I have a beard again, as mentioned. And honestly, this step does really work for me. I really like to have that harsh quotation marks kind of line for the bronzer. Now I gotta set the face, because with all these powders, bitch, my face be feeling a little dry, and now I'm using powder again. So with this powder, it did break. I am so sad, and it was my favorite one because that was actually pretty good. So sad that it broke, but it's okay. It's still working, all that fun stuff. Now, I am using an eyeliner pen. It is a brown one, and I'm using that for under my eyes. And I'm going to be taking this eyeshadow palette. This is a small portable eyeshadow palette, which I love because it's neutral colors. And I'm placing that under my eyes and getting a small brush, a fluffy brush, to go right ahead and blend everything out in the under eyes. Now I'm going to be using that same color that I used for the under eye and placing it all over my lid. I am just going to be using this one color, place it all over the lid, blend it out, all that fun stuff, nothing too major. And now I'm going to be using the shimmer, of course, can never go wrong with shimmer, and place that in the inner corners to make them pop. Now, it could look a little harsh if you just place it automatically just like that, move automatically, okay? But of course, it helps to blend it out with the finger just so it won't look too bad. Now at this point, I was running really late on picking up Alan's grandparents, so I literally was just rushing. I didn't even remember to show the products, but at this point, I'm placing on some lipstick. I am going to be placing on some eyelashes, and I should be heading out very soon. So of course, if you guys loved and enjoyed this video, go right ahead and click like, subscribe, and comment, and I will see you guys in the next one. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. I love you guys. Mwah!